there, everyone, and welcome back to Buffoon of the Week. We're a show that reviews last week's news and current events and search for people who said or did something so heinously stupid that we need to share it with you, our fellow Foonies. We then ask you to choose between our nominees and bestow the winner with the honor of our dubious distinction. Now that our little summer break is over and we're back to our regular schedule of posting videos at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with an occasional bonus video here or there, we want to remind you to go ahead and smash that thumbs up button and please subscribe to the show if you do indeed like what you see or hear in this or any one of our other videos. Oh, and when you do, turn on that notification bell so you never miss another show. We want you to be part of our community and help us grow the channel. Remember guys, it's just a small click of a button for you, but to us, it means so much more. This week we had a lot of nominees who were just short of the promised land. They just didn't have that little something extra, but we can still salute them nonetheless as one of our dishonorable mentions. Alright guys, let's kick this off right.
I just have one thing to say. Hang on.
All right. There you go. Dance a little bit, Joe. Come on.
I'll tell you, my man.
Talk about pandering for votes. Joe Biden's display came after a poll revealed that the Trump campaign was making inroads with Hispanic voters in Florida. So instead of giving them some policy solutions, he gave the crowd a show. Next, we're back on the Bozo Watch. Bill de Blasio's continuing ruination of the People's Republic of New York City hit a high watermark when he made this announcement last week.
So I'm announcing that as of October 1st, every mayor's office employee will be taking a furlough, and that obviously includes myself. This is something I want to be clear about. Everyone will be taking a week's furlough.
That's right, folks. New York City is shutting down. The response to de Blasio's announcement online ranged from advising de Bozo to stay furloughed permanently to questioning how de Bozo could furlough himself when he doesn't really work at all anyway. Especially in light of the recent New York Post story publishing an email chain showing political correctness totally run amok and entangled in the office's decision making. But what do you expect from a mayor who puts wokeness before results? Speaking of mayors getting in trouble with emails, check out what's happening in Nashville, Tennessee.
Breaking tonight, coronavirus cases at Nashville bars and restaurants may have been so low the mayor's office and the Metro Health Department decided to keep it a secret.
The discussion involves the low number of COVID-19 cases coming out of bars and restaurants, and most disturbingly, how to keep it from the public.
Leslie Waller from the Health Department asked, quote, "This isn't going to be publicly released, right? Just info for mayor's office?" Correct. Not for public consumption, answers the mayor's senior advisor, Benjamin Eagles. 1 month later, the health department is asked point blank about the rumor that there are only 80 cases traced to bars and restaurants. Tennessean reporter Nate Rao asks, quote, "The figure you gave of more than 80 does lead to a natural question. If there have been over 20,000 positive cases of COVID-19 in Davidson and only 80 or so are traced to restaurants and bars, doesn't that mean restaurants and bars aren't a very big problem?" Metro Health Department spokesman Brian Todd asks 5 Metro Health Department officials the question, "Please advise how you recommend I respond." The name at the top of the response is clipped off, but you may find the answer unacceptable. Quote, "My 2 cents, we have certainly refused to give counts per bar because those numbers are low per site. We could still release the total though, and then a response to the over 80 could be, quote, because that number is increasing all the time and we don't want to say a specific number." Neither the health department or the mayor's office would confirm the authenticity of the emails. But Councilman Steve Glover asked a Metro staff attorney to inquire. Here's the official answer. "I was able to get verification from the mayor's office and the Department of Health that these emails are real," answered the staff attorney.
They're fabricating information. They've blown their entire credibility now, Dennis. It's gone. I don't trust a thing they say going forward. Nothing. We raised taxes 34%, and we put literally hundreds and thousands of people out of work that are now worrying about losing their homes, their apartments, etc. And we did it off of false information and bogus data. That should be illegal.
You can understand Glover's outrage, right? This just adds to the growing frustration of endless quarantine and endless lockdowns. We'll end this week's dishonorable mentions on this stupidity. People are now filing down their teeth as part of the latest TikTok trend. No, we're being completely serious.
I'm gonna file my teeth down with a nail file because they are not perfect. I have some ridges and we're balling on a budget. Trigger warning. Guys, it's literally working. Wait, let me give myself some vampire teeth now.
No, it doesn't work, you moron. You just ground off enamel that you'll never get back again. I swear, this makes Tide Pods sound reasonable, you freaking social media buffoon. Whew, sir. So before we unveil this week's nominees, just a quick reminder about BuffoonOfTheWeek.com. It's where you'll find out about buffoons we couldn't feature here in our videos, as well as some other interactive content for you, like polls, quizzes, and lists, and a whole lot more for you to enjoy if you register. So go to BuffoonOfTheWeek.com for more great content. Okay, now to this week's nominees for your consideration. They are CNBC's Jim Cramer, and the latest race faker to surface in the media, BLM activist Satchuel Cole. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. CNBC financial analyst Jim Cramer has always been a little out there. He's not your typical straight-laced media personality. Cramer's like a Super Bowl, bouncing from point to point and all over his studio during his Mad Money show, and his presentation can best be described as colorful. It's a formula that's worked for him for years, but you can see how his style can get him in hot water if he's careless. And that's exactly what happened when he interviewed Speaker Nancy Pelosi this past week. Watch the hilarity ensue.
Between you and I think Secretary Mnuchin, I mean, what deal can we have, Crazy Nancy? I'm sorry, that was the president. I have such reverence for the office, I would never use that term. But it is hard,
But you just did.
isn't it? Oh, come on.
But you just did.
You know what I mean.
Holy mother of God. He said the quiet part out loud, and right to her face. Then later that day, Cramer would go back on his Mad Money show and offer a further apology.
Earlier today, when I talked to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Squawk on the Street, I made a very stupid comment. It was a tongue-in-cheek attempt to make a point about the harsh tone of the negotiations in Washington, but I felt completely flat, and I apologize for that. As I said immediately after the comment, I want to make it clear that I have an incredible amount of respect for both the Speaker and, of course, the office she holds.
CNBC would also cut the Crazy Nancy line from the interview in its YouTube posting, in a clear case of trying to rewrite history and keeping Pelosi happy. Oh man, talk about your epic fails. With a style like Cramer's, something like this was bound to happen. He clearly seems like a man who gets lost in the moment and that sometimes his mouth isn't connected to his brain. But he also managed to offend everyone at the same time. First it was Pelosi and her supporters, and then it was conservatives and the president once he apologized. Normally a quip like this wouldn't rate around here, but the magnitude of the exposure of Cramer's statement and the subject of Crazy Nancy, while the whole Salongate thing is still smoldering a week afterwards, makes this action a whopper on our Sharpton scale. Hey, don't forget that Buffoon of the Week is all over social media, so when you're online, make sure you like us on Facebook, you follow us on the Twitters, and go on over to Instagram and like us there too. But the most important thing you have to do is remember to subscribe right here on YouTube. Keep keeping in the grand tradition of trailblazers like Rachel Dolezal, Sean King, aka Talcum X, and that college professor from 2 weeks ago. This week's second nominee is another black activist who isn't what she portrays herself to be. Meet Satchuel Cole, or at least that's her name now. Cole, born Jennifer Lynn Benton, admitted in a Facebook post last week to having, quote, taken up space as a black person while knowing I am white. According to published reports, Cole had been appointed vice president of a well-known but now defunct equal rights organization called Don't Sleep, and was also named a spokesperson for the family of Aaron Bailey, a person who was shot by Indianapolis police during a traffic stop. According to the website Black Indy Live, Cole was one of the most highly visible activists in Indianapolis. We went looking for a little more background on this person, and as luck would have it, Don't Sleep's YouTube page still had some videos posted on it, including some that featured Cole. So here she is in her own words.
Hey, okay, so we finished up the rally downtown and we've got a room full of people and we are making bags and then we will all take them to our hood and pass out to people that we know might need a little bit of help. Hey, next time we need more water. So, and we got a whole bunch of bus passes. We're gonna be passing out bus passes. So, we are here and if you didn't get a chance to join us today, March 18th, we're gonna do this again, so.
How did you get involved in the Black Lives Matter movement and what does it mean to you to do?
Well, I got started in the Black Lives Matter movement. I actually started my activism career, although it's not paid yet. My activism career started in the fight against the oppressive laws they keep trying to pass for if you are gay or LGBTQIA2+, or any of those. And obviously doing that work, it's so intersectional that's where Black Lives Matter came in. It was right around the time when Black Lives Matter took off. And so I just got involved because, you know, it's kind of hard not to, especially when it affects every aspect of your life. So, I mean, it was just kind of, I mean, if you're, you know, any kind of minority in this country, I don't see how you can't be an activist because your life truly is on the verge, so.
Black Indy Live does an amazing job of reporting on this story, so definitely go check it out. We leave a link in the description below. But according to them, Cole went as far as to claim that she had a long-lost black father, according to a 2017 article that has since been taken down. You know, whenever these stories pop up, it's always kind of sad to think that someone believes that they themselves are not good enough, and they therefore have to assume the characteristics of someone else. Newsflash, folks. You can be who you are and support whatever cause you want. Cole's deception was as much to herself as it was to others. And while it is not nearly as buffoonish as the grande dame of racial appropriation, Rachel Dolezal, because at least Cole admitted to what she has done, it remains yet another example of how living a lie never ever works out. So there you go, folks. Two buffoons both wondering, what the heck did I do? But only one can win. Time to vote, America. Tell us who you got for this week's Buffoon of the Week. Hey, thanks again for watching the entire video. Be sure to check out buffoonoftheweek.com to see other buffoons that weren't featured in this video. And be sure to hit that subscription button and that notification bell, so that way you can come back next week, where we'll have 2 more buffoons for you, but only one can be Buffoon of the Week.